Okay, so this is kind of like part 2 of the prep work for the journal page I'm going to be working on today. I have some Art Basics, Heavy Gesso. I purchased this through the Craft Shack. They're an online store. Heather Crafter does some wonderful videos weekly. So if you haven't seen Craft It Live, you may want to check it out because it's a fun place to be. And uh, additionally, she has This and That Thursday, Monday Meandering. I mean, she has a lot of videos out there. So lots of good content if you're wanting to find something like that where she does great instruction. The Craft It Live is a weekly event that you can attend on Tuesdays and actually be in the video and the chat room and talk with the other people that are there. So I would say if you want to learn about this stuff, it's a good place to go. So right now I've got some real heavy gesso I'm just knocking some of this back with, because you can see I've got spray everywhere, and it'll be coming through this, but I'm going to put some paint over the top of this too. Right now I'm just getting a layer down here. So get some more up in here. And this is going to take a while to dry. That's why I am prepping this now, because by the time I get ready to show you guys what I want to do with the page, and I did this, the 15 minutes would be over, so you wouldn't get to see anything. So I decided I'd videotape my prep too. Alright, I've got the gesso down there. I'm going to come in with a wet brush and just kind of move that and even it out a little bit. Because that was just a rough application. And see what I mean about the color coming through. That's that spray from Diane Reevely's line. It's beautiful color, but it's pernicious. It just comes right through. So you have to kind of protect things if you don't want that to happen. And that's why I'm putting this layer on. After I get this layer on, I might even put a layer of matte medium down before I go to the paints, just to try to seal this much down, because I like that color, but it's not what I was looking for this. And I had a fun time playing, and you know how it is. You got paper, you might as well just keep painting, keep spraying, keep covering it up. Okay, so I'm going to take a break and dry this. Be back soon. Okay, so excuse me, I'm so sorry. Things have dried a bit. Now I'm going in and sealing down the surfaces because that pink is still popping through, as you can see, and it's okay that I have some. I like some of it, but I don't want it to continue to come through any layers that I put on. So I used a little matte medium and just went around and sealed everything up. And then I used I've had some jelly prints that I had created in another session. They're on some deli paper. So I wanted to, in the middle of the page, create a little bit of a background. So I did a little bit of stamping with some archival ink because it's permanent then, and I don't have to worry about that moving around. And you know, I don't want it to do like the pink did and just keep moving. So once it's stamped, I get that piece of deli paper and I use that matte medium that I have on my palette and I put that down. I like to put it on both sides of the paper I'm putting it to, the paper I'm laying down, and I also like to put a coat over the top. So I just think it helps to seal all of that stuff in and makes for a better long-lasting page. Anyway, printing on these deli papers was a lot of fun. The paper's got some shimmer because I had used some PBO paints. If you haven't used PBO paints, you may want to investigate them. They have some real iridescence and are just shimmery lusciousness. So now I've got some white paint from Diane Reevely. No. White paint from Dina Wakley, the heavy body acrylic. And I'm going back over that area once again, trying to tone that down. So as you can see, those layers just keep happening because the pink layer from underneath keeps coming through. And it's still a little bit damp, so I'm trying to dry some more and get it to a place where I can work with it. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this section is when we are in the home stretch. This is sped up to 2 times faster than what I'm actually working, just because it gets kind of lengthy, and this whole page was quite a process. I probably spent maybe 2 hours total doing the page, but I didn't want to stop on it. I was just having a blast. This was a real fun page for me, and as you can see, I just keep layering and layering and layering. So that said, I am working with a stencil and some letters and things. There are some hidden messages on the page. Those letters over there on the left hand side say home, which is what I think of when I think of this time of year and the home cooked meals and the family gatherings. And then up on the right hand side you see the hashtag 12. Well, that's because this is the 12th day of our journaling, and I'm so glad that my friends have decided to join in this challenge. It's pushing me outside of what I might have done, just because I want to share in the fun and have the experience with everybody who wants to do this. So you can still see, pardon me, you can still see the pink underneath and the deli paper, but that black spray paint has really brought the focal point in on the page to that midsection, and that's what I want. I want to have the eye move across the page, and so this is part of my design as I'm working. I'm just getting the paint to dry so that I can put some more layers on, because I'm into layers today. I can't even count all the layers. You know, there was the layer that was on the page that I started out with, and then there was the layer of gesso, and then there was the layer of matte medium, and then there was the layer of paint, and it just goes on and on. And that's kind of the way it is when I journal. It's a process. It really is more than a 15-minute process for me, because that's the way I work. But I really also want to applaud these people that are doing the 15-minute journaling. I have done some of the 15-minute journaling pieces, and I have done it in the 15-minute time limit, but I find that to be kind of restraining for me. So I've been doing mine more in segments and breaking it up that way. So I'm sorry if some of my videos seem a little bit choppy because of that, but I'm just trying to share with you what my process is and what I have done here. So I've got another stencil and some of that Dina Wakley White Heavy Body Paint. And I was a little heavy-handed, so I'm mopping up. But I really like those arrows. I really like that motion that it gives and how it turns your focus in towards the center of the page and adds movement to the page. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking as I'm putting this down. So I'm moving to the other side of the page and doing the repeats. It's important to get some repeats on the page too. And where are we going from here? Oh yes, I have a pill bottle and I have that white paint out, so I'm going to use the top of the pill bottle to do a little stamping on my page. And just getting some more texture with that pill bottle in a round shape. And I also have a lid from probably a water bottle. It's a little bit smaller circle, so I'm adding those in just to give some more texture there too. So now you see I have a plate full of these hearts that I stamped and cut out in my first video this morning. We had a big thunderstorm and the winds were like a locomotive in the bedroom, so I decided to get up and just go ahead and start my day and do a little journaling. And so I prepped all of these pieces in the background of my page so that I was ready to do this journal page when I sat down for this session. So now I'm just positioning, trying to get things where I think they belong. You know, fiddle, and fuss about how it goes, and that's okay. Now, the things that you aren't going to see in here, because I run out of time, you know, I wanted to stay within the 15-minute limit, is a few of the hearts and rub-ons and more paint and things that I put on after the 15 minutes is up. I used some Pitt pens to do some shading. Here I'm using the Ranger glue stick just to put things down and get them positioned, but then I come back with some matte media and seal everything in again before I go back over and do my shading. If you're using those Pitt pens, it's really nice if you have something kind of slick, because then you can just take your finger and move that very easily to get your shading in around your image. And I really like that. You know, I use different things for shading, you know, colored pencils, like the Stabilo All pencils are real good for that too, but that's more of a watercolor. And once the Pitt pens are dry, they're going to stay put, and they really do a great job of shading. So I really enjoy using them when I have an opportunity to do that and the surface is prepped and ready to use them. So I'm just continuing to glue and get everything positioned where I want it. That hashtag 12 is still very prominent up there, and I'm going to do something about that eventually. Now I'm just coming back with some of those littler hearts and adding in around the pieces that I have laid out on my page, but you can see that I'm trying to get a flow going from the upper left to the lower right with those hearts. So there's not a lot more for me to say. I just want you to enjoy what's happening here and do a little journaling yourself, maybe. Join the challenge. I'm anxious to see what my friends have made. I will try to link their videos to mine with, up in the right hand corner, I'll put a card with the information so that you can find their videos. And I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this, share it, like it, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.